All right, guys, so we're back on the 80 Chev. Basically what we've done now, we just washed it, and I've just went around and buffed it a little bit with this end on the die grinder here, just to kind of get the big chunks off. We wanted it to look good when we put the engine in, but I don't think we have a ton of time to go super far with the thing, and we don't have the body off obviously, so we can only go so far in the frame as well. But we threw a little bit of primer on where there was kind of some of the bigger rust chunks, and then we're also going to try and do a little bit of work here, paint a little bit on the firewall as well, and just make it look a little bit neater. So when you open the hood, the engine bay looks a little bit better too. So that's kind of our goal. So we're going to get a little bit of paint on her now, and it should look pretty good. Okay, so there we are. Looks a little bit better. We kind of did a little bit of a mixture of black paint and undercoat on this one. There was some kind of different textures that we were getting up on the firewall, so we kind of wanted to try and match that as best we could as well. And then just did a quick job. We're not gonna do all the suspension and components there, just because we're kind of on a little bit of a time crunch with it. But we wanted to make sure it looked pretty before we got the painted up a new engine in the thing, and yeah, just looking good. So. Okay, so we're back working on the 80 Chev here. We got the engine mostly done, painted up, and kind of how we wanted to do it. Still waiting on the cam, but that'll come. We can get the engine in anyway, and get it kind of in position and whatnot. So one thing I wanted to kind of show here with this install is that we have to actually cut this cross member out a little bit here for it to clear the front edge of the block and oil pan, and I guess the timing cover kind of sits a little close there as well. So we cut a little chunk out of there as well. So that's something that with this swap that we're learning a little bit with. So yeah, basically chops that right out of there a little bit. So. But anyway, so we'll get her, got that out of there. I'm going to box in the back side of it with a little bit of stock metal we have here, and hopefully we can make it look pretty presentable, and then we can get the engine in there and get the headers in and see how the fuel lines are gonna work on it and all that. So should be cool. Engine turned out really nice. We're pretty happy with the color scheme that we went with it, so, and that the customer wanted. So. Okay, so we got that welded in there now. I'll go down and have a look at it. So yeah, it's pretty minimal, but it'll be nice when it's all painted up and got some good clearance there now. So. Okay, so here's a little update video. We've done a little bit of work on this thing. We didn't have the camera running for some of it just because it's kind of little odds and ends, but I'll do a quick video here to show you kind of what we've done so far. So the engine's in, we got the mounts on and tightened up. Everything's kind of sitting where it needs to be. We did, so actually here's also that spot where we had to notch out the cross member, so that fits in there nice. We got the headers on, the gaskets are in and they're in place. We got the intake on now. This is just the stock truck intake that we're using on this one. Mom was helping me yesterday and got it really nice and clean, so that was nice. And then I guess underneath we plumbed the fuel lines and did a couple things, so I'll put the truck in the air and show you what I did there. All right, so here's some of our fuel system here. That's a Whirlboro 255 liter per hour pump. We just got a 3/8 fuel filter in there. And then this truck actually has dual fuel tanks as well. So there's our switching valve there that we mounted kind of up and out of the way, and around a couple new lines there as well. The other thing we had to do here, this was the driver's side bung, and it was coming, well, basically hitting that shifter linkage there. So we had to put a block in there and then basically grind it smooth until we had some clearance. So that taken care of, and then here is our other side with the O2 sensor that came with our Terminator X kit as well. So yeah, we'll keep some videos going here and get some more progress done. We should be getting our cam today. It's a stage 1 cam that'll be going in, so hopefully we can get a bunch more work done. We've been kind of waiting on that cam for a while. So one thing I forgot to mention too is what we did with the fuel lines up top here. So we actually we had a parts, well, the parts Tahoe that we had this engine out of, we basically just cut the lines kind of down in the tunnel there, and then we put a bit of a burr on the end of it and then slid the hose on there. But it's nice, kind of gives it that the stock look up on top here, and they fit actually pretty nice towards the firewall here. So we'll have to put a fastener there to hold them, but that turned out pretty nice as well. So the other thing I was going to tell you guys as well is that we're not going to be doing any of the evap stuff on this engine. So we made kind of a little block off plate there. What I did was I actually cut the tube and then kind of stuck it in there and then built this plate so that it would basically bolt on into the factory location and just kind of block it off so we don't have a leak there. And then as well, there's a little port right here, and I made a little block off there as well and kind of just sprayed a little paint on it. So while I'm still waiting here, I figured now we have the intake on, I can start doing some of the wiring. Now, like I said before, we have a Terminator X kit, and it's a really, really simple kit. They pretty much do it all for you. I was just going to show you here. These are all the injector wiring, and if you can see on here, all of these are I don't know if you can see that, if it's not focusing or not. Basically, they tell you which injector they need to go to. Like, everything is basically written down for you on the wiring and obviously in the instructions. But super simple. Pretty happy we went this way instead of keeping the factory harness. It should also make the thing look pretty good too once it's all done. So. So what I'm going to be doing today is getting the stock cam out and getting ready to put the new one in. And then obviously we're going to be doing valve springs as well. So we're going to basically be getting ready to do all of that stuff today here. So. Okay, so we finally got our cam and our springs. These are the springs that we're using here. There's the part number there. So I had to make a little bit of a tool here to get these out. It's kind of rudimentary, but basically just sits on there, bolts into where the rocker shafts would, and then basically you just press down and pull the keepers out, and then it basically frees up the springs. We did one cylinder already there, so we'll keep going and get all the other cylinders done. So. Okay, so we got the springs on the one side. We're just going to start on the other side now. Now, this tool that I made doesn't really work so good in these tighter spots here. So I'm going to end up having to probably make a second one. That's just going to be basically a bar that will reach from here down. We'll bolt off a stud here and just compress individually. And that way we can get in the tighter spots there. So I'll do a quick video on making that. Okay, so there's all the springs installed. New keepers and seals. This is the other tool that I made, so it just bolts onto the rocker shaft and then just compresses it down. You can use a magnet on the keeper, and then obviously we have a compression tester that we put another end on, so I can put pressure to the cylinder to hold the valves up and in place. So we can kind of get started, get the new cam slammed in it now, and start the assembly. So it's coming together. Okay, we're just going to slam this new cam in. This is the part number for it. It's a Summit Level 1 cam, they call it. And here is the spec sheet for anybody interested in it. So we'll get that sucker slammed in there, and we should be making some good headway. Okay, so the cam's in, and I guess that's going to conclude our video. The next video we're doing on this truck, hopefully we'll have the wiring done and the front drive, everything, all the accessories and stuff hooked up, so we can actually fire it. So that would be pretty nice to be able to do the next time around. So stay tuned for that. Thanks.